What's up, you guys? Hey. Y'all see I got a little person in the building, man. Say hi. Look, and say hi to them right there, too.
Hi.
Hi. Yes. All right, you guys. What's going on? I'm waiting to see if I can get someone to join us. But in the event we cannot, I want to go ahead and talk about something that is really near and dear to me, right? Because I've been meaning to do this for some time, but I've been procrastinating. But I got to tell y'all, the pivotal moment that we're in right now um, is very crucial. I don't think we understand that. And for a lot of us that are of Christian descent, something that happened to me, and God kept telling me to go back to the beginning. And I could never understand what it was that He wanted me to go find out about or go talk about. But He just kept saying, go back to the beginning. And in this journey, I began to seek out the beginning of what? The beginning of my life, the beginning of my journey, the beginning of what? Which led me to go back to the beginning of the Bible. Okay. Now keep in mind, y'all, I was just like you guys. All right. I was not God is a story. You know, that stuff ain't true, that stuff ain't real. And then I began to do some research. And the amazingness of God is so wonderful. I don't know what to say about it. So I decided to take this to my platform. And I want to do some Bible discussions about God because there's a lot of different point of views, a lot of different angry people who are just mad with God. Because when I was 2, I wanted a meatloaf sandwich and I prayed for that meatloaf sandwich all day long. And I didn't get that meatloaf sandwich. And I'm mad now. I'm 64 because I got a bologna sandwich instead of a meatloaf sandwich. Some of us are mad with God about that. Some of us are mad about, some legitimate issues. We might have lost loved ones. We might have prayed for them to be healed and they weren't. We might have done everything we were supposed to do and still lost people. And, all of that, I think, is what we carry around with us. And if we do not try to let the Most High have His way, then it can potentially take us to problems, which is why I'm here now. So if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at Genesis 1, man, this is something that just dealing with the Lord has made me whole and understanding the beginning. And in the beginning, of course, I have to do a widescreen. I want to talk about some things that means so much to me, and I don't think we pay attention to. So, especially on the StreamYard, you guys, I want to go ahead and look at this in Genesis 1. As we start reading for Genesis 1, we understand that in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The earth was without form and void. Without form and void. The darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now that says a couple of things to me. The face of the waters. There's a lot of speculation about the dinosaur era, and there's a lot of speculation about the creation of the world. But the second line, as we see in Genesis right here, it says that the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So that sounds like waters were already here. Okay. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's important. So now when we go to line 3, it said, God said, let there be light, and there was. Now, there's an intricate part that we don't know about. We don't talk about when the devil was casted down. And I believe that in this part right here, because I'm just a funny character and I use my imagination. But this part right here, we don't really get into the devil and the battle in heaven when we're talking about him creating this earth. So again, as we look at line number 4, and God saw the light and that it was good. Light is good. And God divided the light from the darkness, which is something else good. So there's a difference. And He called light day, and the darkness He called night. So now We know that Adam named a lot, but we said right here, God called the light day and the darkness night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And he called the firmament heaven. And in the evening and in the morning were the second day. This is some powerful stuff. This is what the Most High is doing. We can't even think on this level. And for those of us that don't believe it's the Most High, do it again then. Blink and do it again. Make another one with your eyesight then. It says it ain't no God. Go ahead and make it happen again then. What? Who made the bang? Okay. The only reason why I believe in the story of the Bible is because us humans. And again, as we going through these, excuse me, little human. Now, as we go through this, we got to keep in mind, he said, let there be light, and it was good, let it be day. Now, you got the heavens. We already knew it was waters there. We already knew it was waters, all right? And he said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. So we know that we had continents that broke apart, right? Right, okay. And it was so. So the first, what is this? 9 lines. Yes, go ahead and clean that. We rebuke that devil in the name of Jesus. But yeah, go ahead and clean that. So we've already saw that we came with waters. Okay, so there was no form, right? And it was void, right? We see that. The Lord had to do a little bit more working and splitting. Okay, so the water's already here. When he split it up, you got heaven and everything else below, right? And everything that's gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. So the God did that. And the God called the dry land earth. He brought forth grass, seeds, fruit, whose seed in itself was upon the earth. Now, all this is just in Genesis, y'all. This is just the beginning, right? And the earth brought forth grass, bringing all this stuff here. So all that was still God doing, because man not in the building yet, right? God is just working on stuff. So this is just God and the angels and Lucifer roaming around here somewhere, because now you know the Lord, they kicked them out of heaven. But this is still the beginning of us, right? So now you're not going to do that right now. You're going to go ahead and clean it yourself. Keep on cleaning it. Don't stop. You know what it is. You don't get frustrated and stop and call me because you're a man. So keep on trying. All right. So now we're at the 14th line. What did I tell you about that? What did I tell you about that? That is not what you do. You got to figure it out. Because I'm already doing something. You're not going to interrupt me. Now, you ready to go sit down? Huh? Well, go ahead. Thank you. And when I get finished, I'll come play with you, okay? Oh, he looks so sad. Bless his heart. He'll be okay. God first. So now we building on this fruit. This is all the Lord now. Man ain't even on the scene, right? Whose seed in itself after his kind. Ooh, that was interesting. The tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. That's deep. But I'm going to leave that alone right now because I got to go back. And God saw that it was, and God saw that. And in the evening, in the morning, it was the third day. Hey, stop it. Oh, we did the heavens. We did that, right? Oh, 2 great lights. The great light ruled the day. The lesser light ruled the night. He also made the stars. Day 3. All right. So he already made the heavens. Still ain't no man on the scene. And we roll over the day and over to the night and divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that and said it was good. We're on day 4 now, right? From the beginning. Now, I had to go through all this before I got it, because I just wasn't getting it. I was so condemned and so couldn't be worthy. I had done so much. So much had happened I just could not get out of that rut. And it was like God kept telling me to come to the beginning. So this is where I went, to the beginning of the Bible. Now, as we're reading, we say on day 4, he made trees, he made lights, he divided the heavens, he divided day from night. He made all the fruit and the vegetables. Now it's the 4th day. Now he said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, and in open firmament of heaven. And God created, not man created, God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. Y'all see when that was? You see where he said, be fruitful and multiply? Man still ain't on the scene. It's almost... I thought I was going to have to go, woo, skin me a child behind. I thought he hit that boy with that. Ooh, y'all don't even know. But anyway, where we at? We just before day 5, right? Now, the Most High and the Bible, humans wrote the Bible to say that this mysterious being has created all of this. Man ain't nowhere in sight yet, right? But man wrote this and said that a higher power did this, right? But a higher power didn't do it. But okay. So, day 5, be fruitful and multiply. Humans still not on the scene. And the evening and the morning were the 5th day. And God said, let there bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing. So what was in the water was produced before what was on the land. For his cattle and every creeping thing, and the beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. God said, let the earth bring forth. Oh, and God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw it and said it was good. That's 5th day. It's day 5. Now, he done already did what he did with the world. He done made the continent one big land mass. He done made the water. He done made the whales. He done made the grapes, the fruits, the vegetables. He done did all that. Day 4, he making the whales and the fish and the tilapias and the shrimps and the crabs and things. Now here we is on day 5. He doing the land. He doing the land animals on day 5, right? And he bringing living creatures, his cattle, his creeping things after his kind. All right. Now that should be day 6. So God said, let us make man in our image. Now, hold on now. He said, let's be fruitful and multiply before man even came. Just throwing that out there. So now here we are. I guess we rolling up on day 6 now. Yes. Good job. Keep on doing it. I guess we are on day 6 now. And in this day 6, we're creating man. So he said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Let them have dominion over fish of the sea and fowl of the air and over every creeping thing. Now, the Lord done made all this, right? We laugh. He done made the trees, the dirt, the seas, the fish in the seas. He done made the fruits and the vegetables, and he done made the animals. We laugh. And he told us to have dominion over all of these things that he created before us. Not for nothing, one of the pastors that I watched, Joseph Prince, made a very valid point. Another reason why we came last is because now man can't be saying, oh yeah, look, I showed the Lord how to make those flowers. I showed the Lord how to make that cattle. Because man can never give all glory to God. He got to take it to himself. So man was made last, and man was made to have dominion over everything that God created before him. That is powerful in itself. This is what I started to read to discover my power. All right. So now let's move forward. Y'all with me, people? Oh, there you go, boo. I'm sorry. There go my boo. Go sit down. Go sit down, honey. Go ahead, go sit down. And then you watching the Jesus cartoon? Because I got to finish my thing. And I'm coming to play, okay? Hi, Auntie Anna.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know how long you were there.
No, you're good. You were focused.
Okay. But yeah, man. I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up and I'm gonna let you do your piece because I'm just going over what the Lord was taking me through. So we're on, oh yeah, we're last now. Day 6, he's creating us, man. And he said we got dominion over everything that was created before us. That was powerful to me. You know, in my darkness, in my unworthiness, in my I didn't deserve to be a child of the Most High, and I just, didn't want to acknowledge my greatness. He told me to go back to the beginning, and just reading the first part of Genesis was powerful to me. It reminded me of the power that God said I had. So it's just imperative that I do this. So where we at? We are on 27. So God created His image, in the image of God created He him. Male and female created He them. Okay. Now the part that it looks like it skips is the part where he took dirt and blew on the dirt. I guess we're not there yet, but the dirt part was the part I remember. Where he picked it up, blew on the dirt, and then he went to sleep. And then he took a rib, and then here come woman. So it looked like in this version that I'm reading here, that's on the screen. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger, which is 27. And made him in his own image, and in the image of God created him, male and female. So they just cut right to the chase with this version. All right, but there are some old school stories out here that tells you about the dirt God blew on, and then He put the man into sleep and took a rib from him and blew on the rib, and then created woman. But this particular version does not have that. But here it is. I do see a second time where at this point God blessed them, and God said unto them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and it have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth." Now, like I said earlier, the last thing that God spoke to that said, "Be fruitful and multiply," was the animals. And it was the sea animals particularly. So now we see again when God created man in His image, which is again very powerful. Not only did this revelation help me know who I am as a woman in God, but it helped me to realize what man is and who man is in God, and how I need to recognize and understand my lane. And in understanding my lane, that's how God gets His obedience through me, the female. No matter how much of a man or manlier I think I am, there's still a level of structure and obedience I must follow in order to be obedient to God. And as we come on down, He's telling the man and woman that He's created in His image to have dominion over all things and to be fruitful and multiply, except He tells them to replenish the earth over and over again. All right, and subdue it and have dominion over everything in the sea. And God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth." Powerful if we pay attention. "And every tree, and in which of the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl in the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat." And it was so. And God saw everything that He made, behold, and it was very good. This is where we come from. God is good. No matter what He created, it is good. Now, if you decide to flip for the bad, then you bad. Don't put it on my God. And in the evening, in the morning, it was the 6th day. Homie, tired. My God is tired. He done created animals, trees, land mass, and birds, chickens, cows, the human body. He done made a little dangly thing in the back of the throat that Cardi B be talking about. He done did all this. My God is tired at this point. Not that he can't go on, but he's like, okay, I done enough. Let me take a break on the seventh day, and boom. Maybe he should have never took a break because look where we at now. But now that we are moving forward, I think that was very critical to, I guess, my next stage of seeking out God. This is what I read, that I had to get to a church. I had to get someplace and get an understanding of what my God was trying to tell me. Because I get it, I hear it, I see it, but this is just a story. This is just a book. So I needed to get with some physical people to try to help me dissect this. And this is how I began that church journey. This is how I began to seek. I needed a savior. I couldn't do it all on my own. I give up, Lord. I can't. I don't know what to do. I give up. What you want me to do? And when I finally acknowledged that it was me and not him running my life, I had to give up and let him take over. And this is the part that I think that we're uninformed. You know, we run from getting saved, but we don't hear about the stories, because once I got saved, the fight heightened. I was challenged more to smoke, to have sex, to drink, you know, and I don't think that it's explained the things you're going to experience when you're getting saved. The communication that goes on with you and God, and you're not crazy. The heightened discernment that you don't know why you know or how you know, but you know, and if you're not careful, it can be complicated on exactly what you're experiencing. You know, there are things that change in you on a whole that we don't talk about before you get saved, that you experience when you get saved. And it can be a very challenging time in your life. And that's why I wanted to have a Bible discussion with other like-minded people to explain to them, like, listen, you know, there are some changes you're going to go through. You know, there is a structure in the order that God has set forth and said you are. And when you grab onto that, you need to be prepared and educated. We don't want to lack due to the lack of knowledge, but we need to be prepared and educated for what comes with being saved and committing and surrendering your life to God, and understanding, you know, everything might not change overnight. However, we should understand what repentant every day means, what thanking him every morning means, what worshiping together means, you know, all the way down to church place etiquette. Like, I don't think we understand why it's bad to come to church late. We're supposed to put your finger up and say, excuse me. Like, there's a church place etiquette that exists that when I got to church, I was like, really? I didn't know I'm supposed to wait until they get finished praying before I entered the sanctuary to go have a seat. You know what I mean? So I really think that there's a huge discussion that we need to bring to the forefront about operating in the church dwelling and the etiquette behind it. So here's my co-host, Anna Keonet. I love my Anna so much, man. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to get this thing going for some time now, and it's finally here. And Anna, what is your take on the spill that I just gave, man, taking them back to the beginning and trying to get an understanding of exactly who we are in God, and the transition to surrendering your life to him?
Absolutely. Well, first, I wanted to thank you. This is my first time coming on air since I've been sick. If you could still tell, I'm still trying to recuperate. So thank you so much, Toya, for bringing me back on. There's just in that first book of the Bible, the first 5 books. So when you think about it, right, the first 5 books are your Pentateuch, right? So did I freeze on you? Or am I here? Okay. So these first five books, they're both in the Jewish Bible and in our beginning. And I think where Toya is going with this is you have to go to the being said, she explained it down. She got as far as woman being made from male's rib. With that being said, there's so many different thoughts that people have to this, to whether it's two different entities, whether it was actually man and woman as one. Have you heard that argument before, Toya? So with that being said, you have that, right? You turn around and you ask yourself, okay, so where did we all come from? Okay, so because I don't see her green screen on, I'm gonna go on Bible, and I like reading out of the New International Version. And then we'll start there. We'll start there. Okay, are you getting it? So our Father makes things so perfect, okay?
Right.
That if you ask yourself, okay, how did he manage to do this? He talks about in the beginning, right? He created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. So what did he do? He added more. And, I'm not going to go all into the teaching that you gave, but it's just the overall of how perfect he does things and everything that he did when it came to it. Now, I was asking, God created the woman from Adam's rib. Have you heard the argument that they were actually both one soul? So man was woman, and then we created like that, or the argument of, it actually being two entities. Have you ever heard that, Toya?
Yeah, I actually have heard that, which is another reason why I wanted to go straight to the beginning itself.
I can't hear you.
Hold on 1 second.
I think you're muted, Mama.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Anna? Hello? Hello? I know you guys can hear me, but Anna, you can't hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I have heard that argument, which is another reason why I wanted to go to the beginning again to try to see if there's any type of clues or wordings that we can try to see to help get to the basis of, some of these different points of views. But yes, I have actually heard of that. Yes, ma'am. But yeah, what I was doing is, as we talked about the Pentateuch, I wanted to put that on the screen so that way the Pentateuch is the first 5 books of the Bible. And you got to mute. You're muted. She said, my thing said your mic isn't connected. So we got a couple of issues right here. The mic is muted right now. We're trying to work through these technical difficulties. But like Anna was saying, the Pentateuch is the Greek name, also known as the Torah. which were by the Hebrews and consist of the first 5 books of the Bible, which is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Anna, if you can hear me, it looks like your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. I'm trying to see. There you go. There you go. I hear you.
I'm glad that you went back to this because I think it's very important. Um, as I've, I can only give people my jewels, right? What helped me. So as I've read the Bible, I had to break it down to these parts. I had to take classes or read books to get the breakdown and be able to dissect it. And as we come through different Bible books and stuff, I will give you guys some of the jewels that I have because it is so important. I'm just so glad that you're doing this show, Toya, because I know it's been a long time making. And my father has made it good enough to where right now I'm not even coughing, and I've been coughing really bad. So, even with these small technical difficulties, you guys fight through it because this is an enemy trying to attack. Because let me tell you one thing you're going to learn. And that is my whole purpose as a church leader and what I do for people.
That's right.
What I like to do for people as I did for the youth before that. You look beautiful, honey.
Thank you, baby. Absolutely.
So,
and I'm glad you're feeling better.
I always have notes written, right? So in the book of Genesis, I can tell you guys it was written between 1446 and 1406 BC. And of course, we all know that the book of Genesis was written by Moses, as he wrote, I don't know off the top of my head, but it's a lot of books in the Bible. Do you know off the top of your head? That's my homework. I'll get it for you guys next week. I'll have it. Or next time we come on.
I'm pulling it up now. All right. So tradition credits that Moses as the author of Genesis, as well as the books of Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and most of Deuteronomy. You can't hear me? Okay, hold on, boo. I got you. Boo.
I can't hear.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
There's no sound.
There's no sound? All right, you guys. So, of course, the devil is trying something. Both mics are on right now. We are having a discussion about the books that Moses wrote. We're having a couple of technical difficulties. If y'all want to go ahead and go to my Facebook page, Toya with the T, we're streaming live now, myself and Anna Quinones. Please let me know if you hear any vocal issues. But we're talking about the book of Moses. Anna, it says your phone is muted again. And we're talking about, the book of Genesis, and we're talking about Moses, and that he has written a vast majority of the books, well, not a vast majority, quite a few books of the Bible, which are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and most of Deuteronomy. And most modern scholars, especially from the 19th century onward, see them as a product of the 6th and 5th centuries BC. So this is just a little bit of background I wanted to give you guys as Anna, she's having some technical difficulties. I just wanted to fill you in on where she was going about the first book. Are you back with us, Anna? Yeah. Okay, here I come. Not right now, boo. Can you hear me, Anna? I think you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
I used to.
Okay, I heard you this time.
I haven't been able to hear a word you said.
Oh, wow. The devil is always on us like that. I don't understand. All right. So, but I know I can hear you. So if you want to go ahead and continue with your spiel, I can hear you fine.
I'm gonna go out and come back in because it seems like, let me see. Testing.
I hear you. Who's that? That's you. Yes, that is. Yes, that is you. And you see Auntie Anna? It's Auntie Anna. All right, y'all.
I got you.
Okay, you got me? All right. I hear you loud and clear, baby.
Yeah, it appears like, the enemy's trying to attack. Please, you guys don't don't lose your focus on what we're talking about because it's very important. I was able to hear some of what you said via Facebook, but not everything. So, where's your question to me? I'm sorry.
So basically, I was just trying to fill in. You were telling them when uh, the book of Genesis could have potentially been created, who it was by, and then you were asking the question of the books that Moses wrote. So I shared the screen to show that it is documented that Moses wrote Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and most of Deuteronomy. I just wanted to pull it up on the screen so they can see, it's documented that those are the books that he written. And I also talked about them being the books of the Torah as well. And you said it was the Pentateuch. So you can take it from there, Mama.
Absolutely. So, the purpose of this book to show that God is sovereign and he loves his creation. So it goes back to what Toya was just teaching you guys. From what exactly you went 1 through 6? Did I hear that correctly?
Actually, on this particular one, this was like it was chapter 1, and this is the King James version. It said I went through chapter 1.
So you did all of chapter 1.
That's according to this. It doesn't sound like all of chapter 1 to me, but according to this online version, yes, it says I went through chapter 1, and the next one is chapter 2.
Chapter 2. So, okay. And so, how much, and ask yourselves, how much does my Father love to have it sat here and just created man, created woman because he saw Adam was lonely, right? So he creates a partner for him in what in his eyes is perfect. And, we haven't gotten that far. The summary of the book, just so you guys get an idea of what we're going to be talking about. The book of Genesis is a book of origins, the good creation of the world, the start of human problems, and the beginning of God's solutions to those problems. Now, listen again. The beginning of human problems, which we have a lot of those now. Look at what happened yesterday at the Capitol over there in Washington, right? Washington, D.C. So, look, the beginning of human problems and the beginning of God's solution to those problems. So, in other words, you need to read this part of the Bible to understand and to get a better understanding of why this communication, why has he done so much for us, or why do we feel at times distant, or like Toya was saying, that when your father tells you what you're doing is wrong, or this situation is not good for you, you get that discernment from him. Some people have it at a very young age. Others are very much risk takers. That's what Toya was talking about when she was referring to that. So the stories in Genesis reveal deeply broken relationships, separation between God and his creation. This is a perfect time for Toya to talk about this with what this nation is going through. Rivalries amongst family members and violence between young people groups. Yet also we see God's beginning to restore the brokenness by choosing a family, Abraham's family, and guiding and rescuing them along the way. So pretty much the beginning of the world is chapter 1 and 2. The beginning of the nations is 3 through 10. And the beginning of the Israelites is 11 through 50. Toya, from here on out, what I'm going to do is read the same Bible version that you're reading. Throw teaching, if you don't mind.
Or you can just call your version, you know, so.
That's true too. That's true too. I want to make sure my audio is okay. Okay. So Jesus in Genesis, right? As a book of origins, Genesis shows the origin of humanity's greatest predicament, which is sin. Sin. We sin daily, every day. Hey, sweetheart. I love kids. It also shows that God's mercy promised its own solution to his quandary. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offsprings and hers. I will crush your head, and you will strike heel. This is in Genesis 10. God's promises in Genesis point to his final and perfect solution for humanity's fallen state. Jesus, God's own son. And I want to give you guys this verse that is very key. Okay. And the Lord said to Abraham, I will establish my covenant as everlasting covenant between me and you and your descendants. Genesis 17:7. I like to give a breakdown of things. I like to teach it that way because then you understand. Then you're like, okay, well, he wrote the book at this time. It was written, it was written by so and so, you know, and so forth and so on. And then a small teaching to where you can probably understand it. That's what it took for me to do. Because a lot of times, though, you know, I really just go to church. I'll give you one little small verse. Let's say, I got a book here, right? So the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being snared. Proverbs 3:26. They'll give you a whole Bible teaching on that.
Yeah.
And which taught you nothing, in my opinion. I mean, that's just me, you know, but I like to break it down. I like to know, okay, the before, the now, and the after. Mm-hmm. So those are notes and stuff that I take in different items that I have. Mm-hmm. And, you know, is there anything that you'd like to add to that? Maybe I missed out because, you know, I want to break it down as much as possible. And I want to go to the team of man and woman for sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. And I think that's absolutely an issue because how can you know how to fix it if you don't follow the manual? You understand what I'm saying? And I think that one of the most
absolutely
complicated issues is to help me understand who I am in God. If I don't understand the beginning and the creation of who God is. So again, this is another reason why this is something that I wanted to do, because just of my personal experience, I was so headstrong and taught by school. God had to show me, okay, you headstrong, okay, boom. So I had to get the Bible. I had to get other books with history, timelines, and things to help me connect it all, for me to understand how it was routed back to it is him and I am me. Absolutely. And what he says is for me. You understand what I'm saying? So you are absolutely right. I think that is the meat and potatoes of what we miss from church. You know, we take that let there be light. We take that Jesus wept, and we want to take Jesus wept and combine it with the losses that we've done, that we've went through against. I just said no, didn't I? Didn't I just say no more candy? I just told you guys no more candy until you have dinner. Didn't I say that? Now you're gonna go sit. No, you're gonna go sit down in the corner until I bring you candy, because you don't run anything I do. Now you go have a seat until I give you candy. Get up. I'm sorry, y'all. So now, it is very imperative, in my personal opinion, that when it comes to a church aspect, that we are able to ask questions. We are able to dialogue about our own personal experiences, because everyone is not going to notice the fire in the bush. Everyone is not going to understand, be fruitful and multiply. You know, we take these things from church. Be fruitful and multiply. And no, that just mean have babies. No, you must first read before. There's a whole lot before. Let be fruitful and multiply. There's different cycles. So that's exactly one of the reasons why I had to do the beginning, because again, like I said,
one of the main ones is that you have to be married.
Yeah.
You have to be married.
And that's it. And then you take it, you know, another one that I like to challenge people on is what the laws of the land are. And it's like, you know, follow the laws of the land. That means the law of police. And I'm like, well, if it's the law of police, then they said it's okay for you to get married to the same sex. So is that truly the laws of the land? You know, so I'm bringing this to the forefront, not only to challenge the thoughts of humans, never to challenge the word of God, but to reflect on the word, what it says, and see how we can acknowledge possibly our own hypocrisies. You know what I'm saying? That God still is in charge of, but we just need more of a dialogue, because what I'm getting is not enough at church. And not for nothing, a lot of people comprehension and understanding is not to a level to the point in which some of our pastors are, and it needs to be broken down a little bit more. So again, I think this is why me and you are here now, because we can break it down on a simpler bit than what we get from when we go to, you know, school. So I think you're absolutely on the right track when it comes to explaining to them, you know, the process of the beginning. But because this is the beginning of the year, and because the turmoil that we're at, I think it's imperative, because we're going to have to know who God says we are, who we are in Christ, in order to take the situation that we're in and know that we have the strength to move forward. Because we're talking about the beginning, when the world was null and void. Okay, if humans weather that, then whatever goes on now, long as we have God, we can push through it. So you are absolutely right. You need to, I'm gonna send you over there because you in my lap. We need to definitely break this down for people who may not understand it from the church aspect. That's why I love you so much.
Amen. And I'm going to tell you one thing, sis. I used to sit at church service, and I would really come out with nothing. Nothing. Yes, I would feel the presence of my Father, because our Father lives in us, right? So I'm always going to feel his presence, right? But I would still be like, oh, have all these questions. And I'm going to tell, you know, the audience, if you cannot talk to your church leaders about that message, or if you question something and that leader gets upset, you need to rethink where you're at. Because I would have all these questions or something didn't seem right. And it was like, and our Father gives us that discernment.
Right.
I was in church, and I think I said it the last live we did. I think I was in church for over 10 years. And Toya, I did not know my Father the way I should know my Father because I wasn't being led to study the word the right way. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I see him.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure, was there a point in your spiritual walk that you were like that, or is that just me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, well, you know, what I noticed was, right, because I was hard-headed. So I did a lot of God talking to me. Oh, I'm going to have to turn myself into an institution. But he would lead me to things. And when I would hear pastors say it, I would go to the Bible. So I experienced pastors saying this and explaining it one way. And here I am like, that's not what God meant. And now it's a challenge between me and the pastor because they're saying, for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. God is not gonna tell you to tithe no place else. You're supposed to be tithing here. And I was explaining to him, well, in my heart, I felt like I did what the Lord told me to do with my tithes. You know what I'm saying? And how can you determine that if you're not him? I still pay my tithes. But there was a spirit that said to do this for someone else instead. You understand what I'm saying? Not to mention, it was a whole nother truth that he didn't even know about that never came to light about a tithe. You understand what I'm saying? But that's the thing that I have experienced. You know, when you're a babe in Christ, they shun you as the babe in Christ. You couldn't possibly know more than me, and I've been doing this for 20 years. You can't possibly understand you've had no formal training. So who are you to second guess or have a different point of view on God? And if your point of view is different than mine, you need to just be quiet because I'm the only one that's right about God. Those are the kind of things that I've experienced.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Our Father gives us gifts no one can understand or undo or whatever else. A lot of people, when they talk to me, you have to really sit down and talk to me. Situations like this or conversations like this, where I open up more. I think a lot of times, and Toya, you know this, people forget that I'm a leader. I'm a church leader. And they'll say some of the weirdest. I'm like, did we forget that I'm a pastor? And okay, because I don't like having, if you notice, I never say I'm Pastor Anna.
Right.
If you notice, I never say I'm this, I'm that.
Right.
I don't, because that's not what it's about. It's about getting down with all others. And I am like you. I just want to teach you. And then I can maybe learn something from you, believe it or not. Yeah. And sometimes even, look, I'll tell you, when I've given Bible studies, I've learned more from others, including the children, than I have from even my teaching that I have prepared months for, you know? Yeah. And, you know, that's another question to ask. When you're giving a teaching, how is it that you pre-plan 2 and 3 months ahead? Well, I'll tell you guys something, and it's funny. Sometimes you do, and sometimes it was impromptu. Not that I didn't have it. Like my phone to me that day on the way to church, I'm like, I'm going to change it today. And it always worked out. It's my Father's, no surprises. I don't like, you know how I am, Toya, I like things organized. So, I mean, every now and then, though, I would do it impromptu. And those are the greatest services, I'll tell you, for the kids.
Right. Right. And you know what? You're right. That's absolutely
for the kids. So.
And you know, I think sometimes that's necessary. You know, you want people to come as they are. And that's probably the energy behind why you don't tell people you're Pastor Anna. because you want them to come as they are. And just knowing you is enough. So by the time they find out, it's going to cause a conviction in themselves. Oh my God, let me be mindful about people.
It's happened so many times.
You know, God knows what He's doing. You know, that's like even for myself. I have credentials. You know, for a minister. You know, but it's not nothing I brag about, but about. I do want to get formal training, but I believe that the thing that's missing the most from religion or Christianity or church is an honest, real dialogue from normal people. Not just a bunch of perfect people talking about, oh, I've never fornicated, I've never drank, I've never smoked, I've never been in an abusive relationship.
I fornicated, I drink, I smoke cigarettes, I've done all of that. I'm no saint. This pastor here, I'm no saint.
That's what I think we're missing. You know, we're missing identifying with people who are really broken, who have really been through some things, and there's no dialogue for them to have a common ground with most of our pastors, and we're judging them when they come to the altar drunk. Well, he's the only person that can deliver me from alcohol. You know, we want to condemn them if they come in off the street. You don't know if she just fought her way out of somebody's trunk being human trafficked and she wandered into the church before you're judging her. But I know that there is a good God, there's an understanding God that no matter what you've been through, He has an open door and He wants to welcome you with open arms. But if we don't find that person that can show us that no matter what, you're going to be there with open arms and you're going to route me to God, we're going to keep going through what we're going through. And that's exactly why I wanted to bring this platform. I wanted real women, real people to have discussions about the Bible, discussions about God, and talk our truths. So that way, maybe, just maybe, we can set somebody free, man. But we're going to keep it up to an hour, and because you know me and you can talk all day, honey, but we're going to keep it down to an hour because y'all know I still got a lot I'm doing. But powerful, powerful, powerful things you said today, sis. We definitely got to get together and conversate on probably the questions we're going to ask for the next one. I'm setting up the phone line. But I just kind of want to go to the flow. I think I want to go to chapter 2, you know, and I think I just really want to take this Bible discussion from the beginning to the end. And then we can probably go at it from a biblical aspect when they tell you to start from John. You know what I mean? I think once we learn the basics of who we are, and then we learn the basics of where it comes from, then if we start from John, it'll give us more of an understanding on the whole process on who we are in Christ and what Jesus means to us. You know what I'm saying? I was thoroughly confused.
And so,
thoroughly.
Absolutely. See, for me, it was very confusing when they told me to start in the book of John. So no, I started from the beginning and I went down, and then I read it again. I went to John, I think it's Luke, John, Luke, and Matthew.
Yeah.
And then go back. So it's something like that. I don't know at the top of my head, you know, girl, my memory. But with that being said, it's to me, it was confusing. So anyways, I know that we're tight on time, but this was so good. I'm looking forward to next week. I made it my business to get up out of bed to make sure I can do this because I have not aired since I've been sick. I don't know why I'm so sick, but okay.
Yeah, it's all right, boo. Just make sure you drink plenty of water. All right. Do you some ginger tea. And you need that vitamin C, that vitamin C. Yep, plenty of orange juice. If you need something, let me know. I'll drop it off at the door.
Of course.
You know?
Of course.
You know, you're good. You already know how this goes. Keep in mind, we still got regular colds and sniffles and things. And just with so much going on, it's probably just a reaction of it trying to fight something off. So you're good, sis. I'm praying for you. Definitely sending healing energies your way. just keep in mind, text me, shoot me a text. I'll be more than happy to tea, whatever you need on the door.
Thank you. No,
All right, boo.
I
Thank you
know.
so much for joining me,
I
man.
appreciate you.
I appreciate you more, man. But get better, you guys. Thank you so much. It's Toya with the T here. And Lunchtime with Anna. Make sure you go ahead and follow us, like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all join us back here next Thursday on another discussion about God. Y'all know I'm Toya with the T. I got the T on everything. And this is the T on God. So if you guys got questions, comments, concerns, or maybe you just want to tell us your story about how God has played a role in your life, go ahead and hit me up at toyawiththeT@gmail.com. TOYAWITHTEA@gmail.com. We'll make sure we get it to you, or join us right here on StreamYard, on Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook, Toy with the T, and join us and ask your questions or add your comments. In the meantime, between time, go ahead, be safe out there, you guys. Keep your prayers up, and if there's anything you need, you know you can depend on me, Toy with the T. Talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye. Love you, Anna.
Daddy.
Bye, you guys.
Dad, no. Titi. Dad. Dad. Titi.
Want this?
Dad.
Yeah.